Going on YouTube? Hope everybody's been having an absolutely fantastic day. And what I wanted to show you today, guys, are 3 higher time frame setups that you guys can go and backtest for yourself and see if you want to incorporate it in your trading, because what I'm about to tell you is extremely powerful. Okay, so when I talk about setups, some people define it differently, but for me, the setup is basically the thing that I want to see on the higher time frame that gives me the criteria to then go ahead and enter. So in my style of trading, I've got multiple setups. Okay, I got setups when we're ranging, when we're trending, exhausting, pullbacks, like retests. There's so many of them, but I'm going to just keep it very simple for you. And the first one that I wanted to show you was what I call the higher low, lower high formation. Okay, it's not it's not higher low and lower high formation. It's one or the other. Okay, because as we know, when market is trending, if it's going upwards, it's making higher highs, higher lows. Okay, and what this aims to do is take a trade at the early opportunity when prices pulled back in anticipation that we catch the momentum and we're going to ride the wave upwards. Now, obviously, the complete opposite is true for the downtrend. This would be our lower high, and we look to take trades by that. Okay, so what's the criteria that we first need to identify? Okay, so the criteria for this particular setup is, the first thing is you need to have a clear defined trend. And what do I mean by this? Okay, I mean something like this, guys. Okay, something like this. Okay, if you see something like, I don't know, let me try and find an example. Okay, look, if you pay attention to buy here, if you can see price is clearly trending downwards and you see something like this and you're like, oh, hang on a minute, price made a higher high. Oh, suddenly now we're in an uptrend. No, because you can clearly see that the trend is sort of continuing down. I know that it did push down, but if price wanted to break this level, okay, and then pulled back, at this point, you could start to ascertain that maybe the trend has shifted. Maybe it's more likely that price is now going to travel upwards than downwards. Okay, so that's the first thing. Make sure that you have a clear, defined trend. When you've got an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows, and a downtrend is lower lows, lower highs. Okay, so the next thing you're going to look out for, okay, you're going to need to see price has sufficiently retraced. Okay. So what do I mean by this? Okay, so if we see something like this, for example, okay, let's look at, I don't know, this is a good example, okay? If you see something like this, right, price has made a push, okay, and just one candle, okay, that's not enough. Okay, granted, maybe if it had another candle, this is where you need to have a little bit of a discretion with your trading, okay? You know, you could see another candle which may have pushed down by here, then you could probably gather, okay, this looks like a decent pullback, okay? It's not always going to be guaranteed every single time. There are times where you're going to identify these higher lows and lower highs and it's just going to get violated, but that's just the nature of trading, you know. But more often than not, if you take these trades correctly, they're going to work out in your favor. Okay, so once you've seen that price is sufficiently retraced, let's try and find a good enough example. Okie dokie. So this doesn't really fit the criteria for me here. Tell you what, let's just use this as an example. Okay, because that looks very, very clean. Okay, so you can see that we've got a clear uptrend. Okay, we can see that price has sufficiently pulled back. The next thing you're going to basically be doing, which you could probably put this at the start, I always advocate for you to draw out your levels, like your trend points, you know, the most recent highs and also your previous higher lows. Okay, so this would be placed by here, right? So once you've identified your levels, let's just put by here. Let's put by there. Identify key levels. Change that to a 3. Okay, price is sufficiently retraced. Okay, cool. Now the next step is you are going to now basically look for a sufficient holding level. And what do I mean by a holding level? Okay, simply a level that is holding. Okay, the first thing you're going to basically watch out for, okay, is minimum 2 wick rejections, or it can be a level of support and resistance. Okay, because if you come to the charts and you just see there's a level of support and resistance, then okay, cool, you've got your sufficient level. Okay, so what are we looking for here? Okay, so we've got a little push, okay, and when price makes a little push like this, it is perfectly valid if you guys wanted to kind of box this in. Okay, I know we got 1 wick rejection, and we've also got, this push by here. It hasn't got 2 wick rejections, but just kind of work with me. Okay, so as we are basically waiting for price to see, is it going to respect this level, or is it going to basically reject it? Okay, and now once you found this, guys, you are good to go. Okay, so there's 2 things that you can do, is that you can take trades on the lower time frame, and you can trade up to this key level, or if you wanted to, you can basically wait for the push pass, because we know that in uptrends, price does make lower lows and lower highs. You're ideally going to want to put your stop loss below this level, okay? But if you were to take trades in and around by here, if that fits your plan, then by all means go ahead and do it. But ideally, you want to keep your stop loss below this level, and if there are any wicks that basically come about, then you want to adjust your level accordingly. So if the wick, for example, pushed down like this, okay, like that, right? Then you're going to, then you are simply going to adjust this level, all right? But I'll talk about entries in another video. But that is simply it, guys. Clear defined trend. Identify your, hang on a minute, let's put identify key trend levels, just to keep it nice and clear. Okay, you've identified your key trend levels, price is sufficiently retraced, and now you're looking for a sufficient holding level, okay, or just a sufficient level that's going to hold. That's fine. It's just people pinging me 24/7. I'm only joking. I'm not that popular. Just sitting in my room, trading by myself, living the good life, mate. Living the absolute dream. So that's it for your high lows and lower high formation. Let's go ahead and have a look at an example for a downtrend. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at a downtrend just so you can see. Tell you what, I won't draw out the whole thing, but I'll just basically show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so come by here. This isn't sufficient retracement. Okay, this isn't even really a clear trend yet, because look, we're still respecting this uptrend. Now that price has broken below, okay, now we're sort of waiting for something. If price wants to, so you could have probably taken trades by here. Granted, it would have lost, but it's not really that big of a deal. Okay. If you see situations like this where price is just being awkward, the best thing to do is, guys, just leave it out. Honestly, just leave it out. Okay. Now, if we come down by here, okay, we don't really get anything, right? If you wanted to, you could potentially take some trades, but as I said, you need some kind of, you need a clear pullback. And as we can see, we've got a pullback. What have we got there? Multiple wick rejections. If you guys wanted to take trades by here, then by all means go ahead and do it. But the other thing I wanted to point out with this particular setup is that if you are waiting for this setup, like for example, like so, if you are waiting for the higher low, the retracement by here, okay, and for whatever reason price wants to push down, okay, this is a level which you can keep in the market for future reference. Because if price wants to come back, you've already got your higher low, or in this situation, your higher low, lower high situation by here. So you can already go ahead and look to take trades from. You don't always have to sort of find it on the first instance. Okay, so there's 2 things you can do. Wait for the retracement, find a sufficient level, trade off it, or if you don't get that and you come to the market and see that price has already formed this lower high, lower high, I always get myself confused, then by all means go ahead and do it. And the exact same is true for a downtrend, for an uptrend. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is an exhaustion. Okay, because as we know, right, price pushes and exhausts. Okay, now people might say this is quite risky, whatever. Trust me on this. I absolutely love taking exhaustion trades, but it has to be done the proper way. Okay, so what are we looking for? Let's just go to, tell you what, for no particular reason. Okay, let's just use this. Okay, right. Let's just use this, okay? So we can see prices, or granted it is looking a bit awkward, but just work with me. Prices sort of clearly making high highs and high lows, okay? So for your exhaustion setup, okay, what you are looking for at first is that price, okay, criteria. First thing is price has sufficiently pushed, okay? So if you want to take trades, for example, you want to now, I don't know, let's say you go by here, okay, and you want to take an exhaustion, well, you can see the price has just broken out of a level. It hasn't really, pushed too much. Granted, there was news and whatnot. So you're simply just waiting for price to sufficiently push. Okay, when you can see that price has pushed a significant amount, you don't need it to be, anything crazy. But we can see here, okay, that price has made, a decent push. It's broken out. It's come by here, lovely jubbly. Okay, the next thing you're looking for, okay, is a strong candle close against the trend. So what I mean by this is, if you're in an uptrend, you're looking for strong bearish candle, okay, and downtrend, you're looking for a strong bullish candle, okay. This is the really important thing, guys. Once you've identified this criteria by here, it's really, really important that you don't change your bias until price has sufficiently exhausted. You're going to hear this word a lot, sufficiently, because it's just going to be the basis of everything that you're going to learn. Okay? Because what could happen is, guys, is that you could get a bullish candle by here. Okay, and if price forms a bullish candle and pushes up, you are wrong, no problem. But more often than not, if price makes a bullish candle, even if it's a strong close, it still needs to exhaust. Okay, it still has to have that push. When you're looking at trending markets, it's very unlikely that price doesn't exhaust. If you just go back and look, just look. Price exhausts, okay? It pushes, it retraces. No, that's a bad example. Oh, there was all this consolidation mess. Okay, fine, look. Price pushes and it exhausts. Price pushes and it exhausts. Price pushes and it exhausts. You don't see one bearish candle and then boom, a load of green candles. So you are going to get your exhaustion, guys. Okay, I promise you this. You're going to get your exhaustion. Whether you get the best entry technique on the lower time frames is a different matter. Okay, and whether you're going to trust yourself as well is a different matter. And also, guys, maybe in my next video, what I'll do is I'll show some real life examples of trades that I've taken that all follow these setups. Okay, trust me on this. They do work, but do your own testing on it. Right? So once you've got the strong candle close, right, what are we looking for? It has to be a strong close. Doesn't matter if there's a wick, okay, even if it's a little bit of rejection, right? Just go ahead and take it. Now, what are some things to be watching out for? Okay, maybe I should have put this in the other one. Okay, so let's say cautionary points, okay? You don't want to be taking these trades if you are late into the exhaustion. And you don't want to be taking these trades if you don't have sufficient risk to reward to the next key level. Okay, so where would the next key level be? Going by the brick wall theory, we're going down and down and down, and we're waiting for some kind of swing low or level, so boom. So your exit target would be around here. Well, not so much your exit target, it can be anywhere. But if price, say, for example, came down here, number one, it's too late in the move, but just work with me. Okay, let's say the key level is by here then. Okay, you need to make sure that there's enough room for this trade to be able to play out without having any potential problems. Okay, and then once you've done that, guys, that is simply it. If you really, from what I've seen, guys, in exhaustions, also another thing to be wary of, okay, is if you go to a retest level, okay, if price forms a wick rejection at a retest level. So what is a retest level? For those of you that don't know, okay, when price breaks out of a level, it'll usually come back to retest the level that it broke from. Okay, so people call it an inversion level. It's just, for me, retest. I started trading in 2020, 2021, and that's what I learned. So that's it. So if price then comes down by here, okay, and basically forms a wick rejection, then you don't take the trade. But as you can see, price did exhaust if you wanted to enter by here. With this, with the stop loss placement, I think it's a little bit too big to be able to be putting your stop loss above there. Because look, if you go by here, right, how many pips is this? You might be, maybe if you want to go for a one-to-one, sure, but what I do is I take a trade on the lower time frames and I just put my stop loss behind some structure on the lower time frames and just ride the wave down. Okay, so let's have a look at some exhaustions from the other direction. So we want to go down and we want to see a strong push, right? Okie dokie. So we can see by here, okay, we can see by here, key levels right by there. Okay, we got a strong close, right? So these are basically our levels. If we can get some good risk to reward up by there, then great. But I can see, as you can see, this is why you need to have, you know, these rules in place, because as you can see, we got some wick rejections right at this level. That gives you cause for concern. And if you had enough room to go risk, if you had enough risk to reward to go up by here and take a trade, then close it out as, you know, preferably as soon as possible as it gets to that level. Okay, but let's look at another example. Okay, this for me, it wouldn't be enough for me to class an exhaustion plus price is at this key level. So this wouldn't really fit that criteria. Something like this is way better, okay? Because we've got this strong rejection, this nice little close, okay? It doesn't have to be a big, really strong close, but as you can see that when I say a strong close, I mean strong evidence that it's going to basically push up or down wherever you are. So if this was quite weak, if this was like a doji or something, then forget about it. But because you've got this strong wick rejection by here, if you have this closed, this is fine to take. If it closed even stronger with hardly any wicks, then even better. Okay, so same thing again, right? We're marking our key levels, our retest level, okay, and using the brick wall theory, we're simply just going to go back and see, and we can say, okay, this is a key level to watch out for. So on the lower time frames, you take some trades, and boom, you could have exited by there, or if you wanted to, you could exit by there. Doesn't make a difference. Okie dokie. And the third setup that I want to show you is what I call a key level reaction. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, or on all time frames, price is going to react to key levels. Okay, so you need to identify your key levels. The best thing that I pretty much would advise, well, I can't really give advice because it's financial advice, but you get the point, is to mark out your highs, your recent lows, and then your current price action, whatever's by there. And the same thing for downtrends, okay? You want to, you know, if you see something like this, guys, okay, don't be marking these key levels. Okay, it's irrelevant. Okay, when price makes new lows and new lower highs, then the previous level is basically getting validated. Okay, so previous, so retest level and then previous higher low, you're good to go. So as we can see, price reacted to by here. Did it react to it? No, it didn't. Okay, fine. So when you're drawing your key levels, as always, guys, it's to the bodies of the candles to the wicks. Okay, and you're being very patient. You're not going to get antsy and say, "Oh, price just missed it. It's good to take a trade." No. Okay, just wait for price to enter the level. Okay, don't be adjusting it more. Don't be adjusting it less. Just go from the bodies to the wicks and keep it nice and simple and easy. 2 seconds, guys. I gotta respond to something. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. So you wait for the reaction. What you're looking for is a sufficient, again, okay, so here we go, criteria. Okay. Oops, daisy. Okay. Sufficient reaction. Okay. So what I mean by this, guys, is that the 1 hour has to leave some kind of a wick. Okay. It can't be a tiny little fucking miniature tiny little wick that you can't even see. Okay, it has to, this is like, you know, if price went and did something like this, if the candle closed by here, at this point, this is like the minimum. Okay, so you just have to see a wick and then boom, you're good to go again. Okay, if I wanted to take a trade here, I'll just show you my entry techniques on something like this. Okay, can I see some kind of criteria? Okay, I might enter on a rejection of this level, and then if price wants to do that, fine. Okay, it was news, but there we go. Okay, let's look at some more examples for key level reactions, because that's pretty much it. Okay, you just need a sufficient reaction from it, and that's the key thing, sufficient reaction. Let's go ahead and just go to a random point in time. Boom. Okay. Okay then, so what are we looking for? Okay, we're just waiting for some kind of reaction. Okay, we got a key level by there, right? It's very, very small, okay, but we can see that we got the reaction, and that's it. But then the next step is we got to make sure that we're getting good risk reward. I'm getting a bit too into the entries and whatnot. I just wanted to show you the setups. Okay, I'll go into how you can be taking these trades properly in later videos, but let's just look at more. I think that's a bad example. Okay, let's keep on going. No, it broke above. Okay, fine. we can see by here we've got a key level reaction. Okay, it's consolidation, but it's still valid. You wanted to take some trades by here, by all means go ahead and do it. Okay, you can see here, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where there's no reaction to it. Plus, price did actually break below by here. Okay, so that's all you're looking for, guys. You're waiting for a key level, finding a key level, waiting for some kind of reaction to it. Okay, we can see by here, right? Key level, okay, bodies to the wicks. I'm going to just do to the bodies just to keep it simple. Okay, we've got a reaction, nice wick rejection, take trades to the downside. Okay, so what are some things that you got to be wary of? Okay, things to be cautious of. Okay, if price closes very strong into level, okay, which means that there are little to no wicks, or if price closes above. That should be self-explanatory. If price closes above a level or below a level, then you're not going to look to trade off that level. It just doesn't make sense. All right. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that was informative. And I know that it doesn't really dive into how you could be simply taking trades from those levels, but those are just some setups that you guys can look at. Okay, go and do some testing. Drop me a comment, ask some questions if you're confused. I'll look to maybe make another video, a more detailed video on this in the future. Please give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll look to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a lovely day. Take care for now. Bye-bye.